All right, guys. So I just want to give my take on this Bitcoin market and what has been going on in the past several days. Let's just get right into it. You can see I have the chart pulled up and everything. So you can see on the 29th of June, we saw an increase in price from that 5,800 resistance mark, from 5,800 to roughly 6,300. And then a few days later today, we see another increase from 6,300 to about 6,700, with the price roughly around 6,600 now. Now, as far as this being a significant bounce from that 5,800 resistance up to a possible bull run in the end of this bear market, I would first look at the volume that we see from these price increases. And as you can see, some significant volume going on here. But another thing to consider is whenever we come back a little bit and we look at the previous volume spike that we saw put an end to this sort of bear trend that we're experiencing. There was one back in April 12th, that increase in price that ended that bear trend from roughly 6,600 to start a trend all the way up to that 10,000 mark. We'll see that the volume here is significantly larger than what we are experiencing in the past couple of days. If you can get this all on one screen, here we go. You can see how large this volume spike is in comparison to here, and basically in comparison to anything else we've been seeing during this time period. So this is like maybe a third of the size of this volume. So that tells me that it's not a very strong bounce off of this bottom of the 5,800 resistance. Not even close to that bounce that we saw that got us from 6,600 to 10,000. So considering this, I'm just thinking this is a sort of dead cat bounce that may push up to 8,000 if we're lucky, and then we'll possibly see the market continue to dip down after that for some time. But another thing I want to look at is if we go into the daily chart and to look at the RSI value that we're experiencing now. If you look here, the RSI is about 50 or so, and we have not seen this daily RSI this high since about mid-May, let's say April 10th or May 10th, and ever since May 10th to now, our RSI has been more in the oversold range compared to how it is now. So the RSI is back up on the climb. Your MACD and the daily is also trending upwards, which are both good signs. Once the RSI, we can look at the RSI a little further on the daily. We can see once the RSI gets past that 50 range and starts trending in a more positive zone, the RSIs tend to look like this. They tend to stick in this range from about 50 to 70 down to 50. We go back here again, back in the end of 2017, the RSI was consistently above 50. Go back a little further, we'll see one dip here, but again, consistently above 50 for the most part during these bull periods in the market. So the fact that the RSI is nearing that sort of turning point in the market where we start to see these low trends in the RSI and these dips go away is a little bit of positive news to me as well. Another thing I want to take a look at is going all the way back to 2014, whenever we saw the Bitcoin price crash from 1,200 to about 200, and then we saw a period in the market where the market kind of remained stagnant for about 2 years, until the beginning of 2016. So a lot of people are comparing the market conditions that we're in now in this bear market to the 2014 crash, and I disagree with that for a couple of reasons. The biggest reason being, back in 2014, there were not not nearly as much people involved in this whole community of Bitcoin, in the cryptocurrency community. We didn't have the attention that we see now from the governments, government agencies, for instance, the SEC. We now have news that the SEC has claimed that Bitcoin and Ether are in fact not securities, making the long-term potential of this industry very promising for everyone. And then we also have some news here about the SEC opening up the ETF market. People arguing that this could be a good chance now for the Bitcoin ETF to happen, which was previously denied in early 2017, I believe. So now that we have the SEC attention, so much positive attention that we've been seeing from the SEC into the cryptocurrency industry, I think that now is possibly going to be the time that we see a Bitcoin ETF come out. And then I don't have the chart pulled up right now, but if you go back and you can look at gold, whenever the gold ETF came out, that started a massive bull run in the gold market. And much like Bitcoin, when the futures market in gold came out, that also started the beginning of quite a bear market for gold. So again, if the Bitcoin ETF comes out, that can definitely spark some good news and potential growth in the industry for the long term for Bitcoin. And so basically, to sum things up, my thoughts on the current market conditions are that we are seeing a bit of a bounce from that 5,800 resistance line, but I do not expect this bounce to be a very strong one, nor does it appear to be, and I do not expect it to continue for longer than a week or two possibly, and possibly seeing a high of around 7,500, while not even crossing the moving averages that we are still so far below on. So I'm going to expect the market to dip back down, possibly test the 5,000 level. I don't really see us going lower than that anytime in the future, but we'll see what happens with that. Oh, I also want to show this news that many are kind of pointing the positive increase in the market today due to this news of Coinbase custody targeting institutional investors now officially open for business, something that Coinbase has been having in the works on for some time now, and now this is basically come to fruition. And this is a big move for large institutional investors, because now that institutions from both the US and Europe can now store their crypto assets with Coinbase custody, which supports Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin Cash. This is a much safer way for large institutional investors to put their money into cryptocurrency. So again, these two things right here, and along with all the other good news that we've been hearing of despite this bear market, are both very good potential growth factors for Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency industry in the next couple of years or so. But again, like I said, what I expect from this small bounce is not very much, and if I would just wait out and see what happens in the next couple of weeks, because my thoughts are still that this volume spike that we saw was not enough to get us out of the current bear market that we are seeing, and we may possibly go lower. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wrap up this video for today. And if you want to see any videos like this from me in the future with further technical analysis or further discussing certain topics, please let me know in the comments. Like the video, subscribe to my channel. Just give me any kind of feedback that you can, and I will talk to you guys soon.